Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Daily Manhwas, and I hope you enjoy this video. This story begins on the Lion Mountain, where some beasts and a girl were running away. They were being chased by some soldiers. Seeing that they were walking away, one of the soldiers decided to shoot the girl. The shot attracts a mutant boar beast. The boar was furious because the shot had hit its tusk. The beast begins to charge towards them. One of the soldiers, seeing that the normal weapons did not do much damage, pulls out a missile launcher and shoots at the beast, but the beast manages to dodge it at the last second. Seeing this, the soldier prepares for another attack when suddenly a roar is heard from the top of the mountain. The one who had roared was the Golden Lion King. The soldiers are amazed by his beauty and the gold, so they decide to attack to take the gold. The Lion King leaps, dodging the bullets, and quickly eliminates a soldier. The soldier with the missile launcher attacks him, but the Lion King plugs his cannon, causing the explosion to occur inside the cannon. He had eliminated all the soldiers. He was too strong and could not control his strength. His name was Liu Fan, and he was an orphan, but he managed to graduate from college and started to become a proud worker. But he had accidentally crossed from planet Earth to where the spirit was revived and was reborn as a golden lion, who was considered a magical beast. And the system of this world made him stronger and stronger for whatever he did. The boar, seeing the strength of King Lion, runs away, and the system gives him another point. The king wonders where was the girl the soldiers were chasing. The girl had fallen into the beast tide because of the explosion. The Lion King approaches the girl and sees that she had an unusual feeling as she was dead, but her body was still filled with aura. He uses his power and pulls a magic powder out of his mouth, and little by little, the girl's spirit begins to come to life. The night falls, and the Lion King goes to the Cave of the Runes, where the girl begins to cry because she had lost her body. The Lion King reassures her and tells her that she only had to be reincarnated, when suddenly he gets a warning from the system telling him that he had picked up a ghost and had to link it as soon as possible. This was the first time he had received a warning from the system telling him something so direct. He had to plan carefully to complete his new mission. When suddenly a candle demon named Ziokeo comes out, she comforts the girl and tells her that the king had no bad intentions, he was just a little insensitive to feelings. The Lion King had left his spiritual energy in her soul so that she could keep her soul. Thanks to the king's spiritual energy, she had managed to transform into a demon. To become a demon, there were two conditions. The first was the special constitution, and the second was the obsession of the heart. Ziokeo asks her why the soldiers were chasing her before. She is Suling from Mang village at the foot of Lion King Mountain, and since the revival of spiritual energy, the people of her village had been disappearing one after another, leaving only 20 people. And 2 days ago, a group of soldiers interrupted in their village and ordered everyone to advance into the forest. One of the villagers says he didn't want to go in because his son had disappeared in that forest. But the soldier doesn't listen to him and hits him, saying that if he didn't do it, he was going to kill him himself. The old man, seeing that he had no choice, decides to go. A little further into the forest, the old man begins to disappear. The soldiers force all the villagers into the forest. Each of them disappears after walking in the dark fog. And finally, it was Suling's turn. When she entered the fog, she began to move unconsciously in one direction. Then he saw his parents, but when she woke up again, her parents had disappeared. She had fallen into a well, and a flower had guided her away from the soldiers. She could not destroy the coffin that the soldiers were looking for, so she decided to eat the flower. After eating the flower, her body became very light, and her eyes could see clearly at night. Soldiers later found the coffin and removed it using a helicopter. One of the superiors, seeing that the flower was not there, told the soldiers that he was not going to pay them until they found the flower. Then the group of soldiers began to chase her, and that's how she arrived at the Lion King's mountain. The Lion King now understands why she had a special constitution. She was seeking revenge. The coffin and the flower were a rare treasure. After the first revival of spiritual energy, various forces became anxious and started to move, and the second revival was going to happen sooner or later. As the system had asked him to link her, he asked Suling if she wanted to become a Chang ghost under his command. Suling accepts, and as a reward, the system gives him a fragment of Zhang body that could be exchanged for a Yang body. Seeing this, the Lion King was happy because finally there was a chance that he could regain his human body. Since he was reborn as the Golden Lion, the system had only made him stronger no matter what he did. But since he became the Demon King of Mount Lion, this kind of thing never happened to him. This was the first time the system had sent him a task with a reward, a mysterious opportunity with a mysterious reward. If Yang's fragment could return his body, it was an opportunity he could not miss. He asked Suling if she was seeking revenge against those people. She did not want to cause trouble for the king. All her relatives were dead, and she does not want their corpses exposed. The king thinks she was a child, but she had quite a heavy mind. With his breath, he creates a clone to protect her since he could not leave the Lion Mountain. and with her breath, he creates a dagger with his spirit and gives it to Suling. She doesn't know how to thank him for all that the king has done for her, and she decides to leave, and Xiaokao decides to accompany her to light the way. As they make their way to where the fog was, the Lion King clone begins to feel a very strong ghostly aura. As they walk a little further, they come across many corpses, and among the corpses was the corpse of Grandfather Lai. All of them were killed by the fog. The king's clone uses his power and tells Suling that he had purified the villagers' souls and allowed them to re-enter reincarnation. But the bodies of Suling's parents were still missing, so they decided to keep searching. But the king's clone stops them, as he had smelled the odor of the gunpowder the soldiers were carrying. Those soldiers were at the site of the coffin and the flower. The soldiers, seeing that Suling did not appear, begin to destroy the corpses of her parents. Suling gets angry and prepares to attack them, but the king's clone stops her and tells her that there was someone else. When suddenly Lady Mayon appears, the soldiers tell her that they were still looking for Suling and the flower. Mayon did not care about the flower, she only cared about the sarcophagus. 49 ghosts had died in vain after 81 years in the sarcophagus and had slowly precipitated into the soul floor of 3 lives. In the cave, the Lion King gets another point because his clone had discovered the soul floor of 3 lives. It was the first time the demonic knowledge property had been activated, and he could now clearly see his veins. He turns and sees that he could also see the veins of the other creatures. Although the system only made him stronger no matter what he did, this was the first time he had awakened such a special ability. He could even see spiritual energy surging from the veins of the earth. All the energy came from a specific point. Back in the ruins of the sarcophagus, Mayon comes out of the hole and kills the soldiers so that no one would know about the 3 soul lands. She cuts herself and drops her blood on the stone in the sarcophagus. She was the one who came up with the idea of using the villagers to scout the road so that the soldiers would not have been killed. Hearing this, Suling angrily prepares to attack her, but Mayon senses the attack and gets Suling to stop attacking. The king's clone and Xiaokao were surprised as she was able to see ghosts. Suling had unconsciously dodged the attack, but she plucked up courage because she was now a ghost and wasn't afraid of being cut. Mayon, seeing that no one was there, takes out a pair of glasses and puts them on, and now she is able to see Suling. Suling angrily tells her that she wanted to avenge her parents' death. But Mayon doesn't remember her and doesn't remember killing her parents either. She tells her that she doesn't remember stepping on ants and killing them. Suling angrily prepares to attack her again. The king's clone was surprised as she was not surprised or scared after seeing Suling, and thinks that this was not the first time she was dealing with a ghost. She had a special way of fighting ghosts. The clone senses that something bad is going to happen. He uses his power and lures Suling, causing her to dodge the attack at the last second. Suling does not know how she was able to hurt her if she was a ghost. Mayon had a crimson knife, which was a special weapon used against ghosts. Suling had to avoid the long knife and attack it with a surprise attack from a blind spot. The Clone King does not intervene as he wanted Suling to take revenge with her own hands. Mayon attacks again, but Suling dodges her attack, and using her blind spot, she manages to finish Mayon off. The Lion King clone comes to the conclusion that her bracelet was a magic weapon that was able to sense the killer aura, and the glasses allowed her to see ghosts. The king's clone helped Suling by using his murderous aura to disturb her perception. When suddenly, Mayon's body rises again. She resurrects and attacks Suling again. Her knife was a special weapon for attacking ghosts, and both the king and the little candle were in the state of soul doppelganger. Suling couldn't allow her to attack them. Suling manages to block the blow and counterattacks, cutting Mayon's arm. However, suddenly, tentacles start to emerge from the severed arm, and it reattaches itself to Mayon's body. She was a person who was dead, but her doppelganger could survive even if the original body had died. This was the perfect opportunity to test the new mastery of the Lion King. Mayon's breath came from the soul ground of 3 lives. She had previously dripped her blood on the soul ground. Mayon attacks Suling again, but now her attack range had increased. As a disadvantage, her recovery speed was slower. Seizing the opportunity, Suling approaches her and attacks several times, managing to cut Mayon's body in half. From the split body, more tentacles emerge and trap Suling. The clone of the king does not want to intervene as it is a doppelganger, and if it gets damaged in combat, it will be terrible for his body. The tentacles start attacking Suling slowly, but the Lion King decides to intervene using the fragment of the young body. He tells them to cover their ears and hold their breath. With a powerful roar, he attacks the doppelganger of Mayon and manages to kill her by vanishing her body. He approaches and picks up Mayon's knife, and his level rises several times. Obtaining the knife expands his sword attributes. He touches his neck and feels that he has hair. The system was cheating as there was a level to restore the human body. What he wanted the most was to change his ghostly appearance. Xiaokao falls in love with the new body of the Lion King. he levels up his demonic consciousness by inhaling the soul ground of 3 lives. Now, he could see the aura floating in the air, and he becomes stronger every time he breathes. Suling thanks him for saving her, but this revenge was not over yet. They still had to discover what the coffin of the 3 lives soul was hiding. So, he decides to continue investigating to help Suling seek revenge. The sun starts to rise, and Xiaokao hides in his clothes, and Suling does the same. But the Lion King tells her she can't do that anymore because she is too big, and being a ghost she can possess a body. He suggests possessing Mayon's body instead. At first, she doesn't want to, as Mayon's body is too ugly for her. However, realizing it's a matter of life or death, she decides to possess Mayon's body. The Lion King tells her that from now on, if they encounter a mercenary, she must pretend to be Mayon. After walking for a while, they arrive at an open area where a helicopter was waiting for them. When they reach the helicopter, the soldiers ask who the hooded guy is. Suling orders them not to ask any more questions about him. As they board the helicopter, the system awards another point to him. After flying for a while, the pilot tells Suling that they have arrived in Suling City. At the entrance, there are the bodies of giant beasts, and among the corpses are people searching for resources or the beast's core. Unlike the Lion Rock, which was flourishing, the resurgence of aura caused a great commotion in the human city. The city was in an apocalyptic state. After a few minutes, they reach the city, where Suling thanks the pilot for his work and swiftly takes down the soldiers with a quick blow. It was a fairly powerful group, and the soldiers' camp was quite large, but the Lion King could reduce it to ashes with a single breath if he wanted to. However, for now, he just wants to play with them a bit. They enter the tower and defeat the guards, reaching the place where the clues they were looking for were hidden. The Lion King activates his divine consciousness and realizes they are not the only ones who broke in. A woman with a gun is hiding behind the door. The king senses the danger and decides to go first. As he opens the door, the girl shoots him with her pistol. The bullet hits the Lion King directly in the chest. Suling, furious, prepares to attack the girl, but the Lion King stops her, telling her that he is fine. It was a bullet covered in aura, and the girl is surprised to see that it didn't harm him. She wonders if he is unawakened. The girl shoots several more times. All the bullets hit the Lion King without damaging him. He quickly breaks her pistol with a finger. He then captures her and warns her not to force him to take action since he doesn't trust his power control. The girl responds that he can kill her if he wants. The king realizes that she is not a member of the Kang Sheng group, so he asks her what she is doing here. She reveals that the Kang Sheng group illegally stole her company's development project, and she came here to find evidence. The king notices she is hiding a paper in her shirt, and upon taking it out, he sees that it is a map. The first target of the group is the Lion Rock. Suddenly, the leaders of the headquarters arrive. They had come to receive the delivery at night and were using candles for illumination. The sarcophagus was sensitive to intense light, and candles were the limit. The clone of the king and the girls decide to continue observing to find out where they would move the sarcophagus. Luo Yi, a Class B awakened, tells May Fox that he was going to ask someone to take away the sarcophagus, but May Fox tasks Wu Gang, a strong man, to carry the sarcophagus. The clone of the king is surprised to see Wu Gang lifting the sarcophagus. May Fox realizes that someone is watching them. She attacks the clone of the king, but just before her attack lands, he manages to stop it. She was unawakened too, as she could sense his presence. Luo Yi heads towards the clone of the king to attack him, starting with a kick, but the Lion King quickly dodges. After seeing that he had evaded the strike, Luo Yi launches a flurry of blows. By dodging the attacks, the clone of the Lion King was increasing his resistance. Luo Yi was curious to know who was hiding beneath the cloak. With a quick move, he removes the cloak from the clone of the king. Upon seeing the true face of the king, he understands why he had such good resistance and quick reflexes. May Fox is captivated by his appearance. Luo Yi activates his ability, Divine Speed, and with an instant strike, manages to hit the king. However, upon striking, his leg bones break due to the king's hard body. By defeating an awakened, he levels up several times. May Fox is astonished as he had defeated Luo Yi, a Class B awakened, so effortlessly. Upon seeing Luo Yi being defeated, Wu Gang prepares to attack the Lion King. Using his incredible strength, he throws the sarcophagus towards the Lion King. But in an instant, the Lion King catches the sarcophagus and keeps it safe. He becomes angry with Wu Gang for throwing such a precious treasure. Wu Gang activates his ability, Liberation, and his muscular body becomes even more muscular. He prepares to attack with a powerful blow, but Suling attacks him with her dagger. The blade gets stuck in his chest, as his muscles were so strong that no one could harm him. With a shove, he defeats Suling. The Lion King approaches him and tells him that he had a lot of confidence in his muscles but had forgotten to exercise his brain. And with a single finger, the Lion King defeats Wu Gang. May Fox is disappointed with his companions, but she was different from them. She was a little girl who had lost her home and wandered the streets. However, gradually, she rose to the position of CEO and secretary of the group thanks to her brilliant mind. She takes off her cloak and reveals her seductive attire. She activates her ability and starts to seduce the Lion King. Her ability is effective with men and beasts. It affects all males. When under her control, men become obedient slaves. The Lion King is confused by her gestures. Her ability doesn't seem to work on him, so she decides to use her ability to spy on him and find out what the Lion King is hiding. The Lion King hadn't lost his yang essence. His body was pure yang, which is why the enchantments didn't affect him. May Fox uses all her strength and employs her ultimate charm, trying to seduce him. The king loses consciousness and starts releasing his power. Suling, upon seeing that the Lion King was losing control, tries to help him. However, the Lion King quickly pushes her aside with a furious look and starts advancing towards May Fox. The Lion King's lust was the purest. She couldn't control him. She attempts to regain her composure, but the level of power overwhelms her. Her end was near. The Lion King's lust is being consumed by May Fox's lust. All things have a fire in their hearts, and the fire in the heart is composed of lust and karma. These two types of heart fires are extremely dangerous, so it's necessary to suppress and reconcile the practitioner's innate aura. May Fox disturbed the Lion King's mental peace, awakening his lust. Now the Lion King is acting solely on instinct. If they don't do something, his lust will consume him until death. The Lion King is about to kill May Fox. Zio-ko is the result of the Lion King's absorption of demonic energy. He has a body of pure yang energy. His primal yang energy has not been released, and no one can withstand his lust. Zio-ko is the incarnation of the divine flame, capable of merging with the ghostly fire, the fire of the 6 guardian gods, the fire of triple immersion, and the fire of true contemplation. Any flame in this world can be compatible with Zio-ko. She approaches the Lion King and uses her ability called Return of the Fire Sect. She begins to absorb the Lion King's lust, and after a while, she absorbs all of his lust. May Fox is surprised she survived and believes the Lion King was too dangerous, as she barely escaped being burnt. Suling takes out her dagger and ensures that May Fox won't escape. The Lion King wakes up exhausted and weak, having gained a lot of stat points. By expanding his elemental fire, he gains a new ability, the Golden Fire Heart Technique. Zio-ko's color has changed due to devouring the Lion King's lust. He approaches May Fox and asks her about the use of the 3 lives soul coffin. May Fox responds that the coffin contains ancient secrets. When one lies in it, they can receive an inheritance in an illusory world and obtain reincarnation. However, if the user gets lost in the illusion realm, their soul will disappear and their body will turn to dust. The Lion King wonders if it could help him obtain a young body, but the coffin carries great risks. Suling leaves May Fox's body and tells the Lion King that she wants to try. The Lion King refuses, deeming it too dangerous, but suddenly receives a message saying that the success probability for the soul coffin trial is 30%. Suling insists because her original life was the Lion King's. Upon seeing her determination, the Lion King decides to let her use the coffin. He uses his ability, Sacred Fire Heart Flame, and starts manifesting his soul's fire. However, he wants to pull her back when his inner fire begins to show signs of disappearance. Suling lies down in the coffin and is teleported back to her village before the soldiers arrived. Her parents are alive and call her to come and eat. She can't help but shed tears at seeing her parents alive again, but she knows she can't be deceived, it's just an illusion. She goes inside with her parents to take a look and starts eating with them, happy once more. For the moment, Suling's vital fire is stable, but she must overcome the obstacle. Inside the coffin, several years have passed, and it's the day of Suling's wedding. The sun is about to rise, and if Suling doesn't awaken her spirit, it will be lost forever. Suling is struggling, even though the fire of life continues to burn. Resisting against the sarcophagus is too difficult. The Lion King decides to bring Suling back as there's very little time left before the sunrise. Suling starts to see the figure of the Lion King and begins to awake. As she was getting up, the sun was rising. In the end, she manages to get out before the sun fully rises. The Lion King welcomes her, and Suling, with tears, thanks him. He has completed the connection mission and become a loyal companion of the lion, improving his awakening ability. He has obtained the illusion of the 3 lives and the inheritance of the reunion spell. The Lion King didn't expect to receive such rewards. May Fox is moved to see them reunited and decides to leave first since she has nothing else to do. Zio-ko grabs her by the ear and asks the Lion King about his plans for her. She had provoked his lust, allowing him to acquire the Sacred Fire Technique, and she could help him improve his skills. He takes May Fox by the arm and brings her along until his Sacred Fire Technique is fully perfected. Everyone leaves the building, and the Lion King sets it on fire as their target was the Lion Mountain. Suddenly, the system warns him that the second resurgence of spiritual energy is about to begin. On the Lion Mountain, some plants and animals start to receive the second resurgence of spiritual aura. Finally, the time has come, and the system assigned him the task to expand the territory. He must expand the size of the mountain to support the growing flow of spiritual energy. He is impressed because the system cannot cheat intentionally, and there are no restrictions. Suddenly, the system warns him that if he doesn't expand his territory within the established time frame, his body will collapse due to the inability to withstand the excess spiritual energy, resulting in his death. The Lion King had never confirmed the extent of the Lion Mountain, so he decides to activate his spirit perception to confirm it, as this is the perfect moment to test his new abilities. He uses his ability called Spirit Perception and is amazed to see that he can glimpse the flow of spiritual energy throughout the entire mountain, thanks to reaching level 3 of Spirit Perception. He notices that his golden fruit tree has fallen, and he is confused as the armadillo was supposed to guard it. But upon searching further, he realizes that the armadillo is unconscious on the ground. Seeing this, he gets angry because the culprit not only caused harm to his territory but also dared to hurt his companions. The culprit left a trace of spiritual energy, and if he follows the trace, he can find them. The Lion King is angry because the culprit had knocked down his golden fruit tree, which was the root of the Lion Mountain. The golden fruit tree blooms every 10 years, and by eating a golden fruit, one obtains 30 years of demonic power. The Lion King summons all his subordinates, including the chatty bird captain, the green snake Xia King, the white fox Ziyu, and the giant bear Xingji. When they reach the armadillo, they realize he is severely injured but still alive. Upon seeing the Lion King, the centipede starts to roar. The Lion King gets angry and prepares to use his lion's roar if he don't. But Xia King stops him and tells him that there's no need for him to get personally involved in such trivial matters. She attacks the centipede, entwining it with her body. The armadillo apologizes to the king for not taking good care of the golden fruit tree. The centipede was originally a worm that burrowed beneath the golden fruit tree. However, this time, with the revitalization of the spiritual aura, it started to mutate suddenly. Still, its wisdom didn't awaken, turning it into a fierce and uncontrollable being. Xia King bites down hard, splitting the centipede in half. But the centipede uses its ability called Earth Dragon Division and divides itself, continuing to attack Xia King. The more she hits it, the more centipedes appear. Seeing that Xia King is in trouble, her companions decide to help her. However, Xia King refuses their help, as she had been cultivating diligently alongside the Lion King day and night. Today was the moment to test the results. Using her demonic energy, she transforms into a dragon. She breathes out dragon breath, delivering a powerful energy blast that manages to hit the centipede. Her companions are amazed at her power. They start discussing how she used to sleep in the Lion King's cave to take advantage of the demonic aura to cultivate her power. While they argue, the system levels up the Lion King. Meanwhile, the wounded centipede starts to retreat from the battle, fleeing underground. Xia King begins to pursue it. The flow of energy from the mountain was below the ground. The source of the Lion King's power was connected to the Lion Mountain. If this flow was destroyed, the consequences would be devastating. The Lion King orders all his subordinates to go underground to chase after the centipede. Xia King tells him that the centipede escaped because it was a creature that lived underground and could sense the direction through its skin, while her olfactory sensors were being interfered with by the spiritual energy from the ground. The Lion King decides to use his demonic consciousness ability. He could feel that this underground spiritual current was connected to his spine. He orders everyone to dig until they reach the bottom of the earth to find the centipede. After walking for a while, they reach an area where the sensation was similar to that in the lion's cave. As they progress further, they come across the body of the centipede, which had been killed. And behind the centipede's body stands a woman holding a red umbrella. Her name is Kai Luo, and she was waiting for their arrival. All of Xingji's subordinates had been killed by Kai Luo. Kai Luo apologizes, saying she didn't want to waste food but couldn't eat anymore. Xingji becomes angry upon hearing this and activates his wild power, preparing to attack Kai Luo with 10,000 jin. Kai Luo stops his attack with her power, telling him he was overestimating his strength. The clever fox Ziyu and the chatty bird decide to help Xing. The talkative bird uses its ability, the Great World, and shoots its energy-covered feathers while Ziyu uses his shadow-hidden ability, both attacking Kai Luo. However, she stops their attacks with her umbrella using the Mist Claw ability. She quickly attacks Xingji, thinking they were just a group of mindless beasts. But she underestimated the Lion King, mistaking him for a sick cat, believing he was just a small, insignificant kitten. The Lion King uses his Roar of the Lion ability and attacks Kai Luo, but she blocks the attack with her umbrella and the indestructible golden ability. However, the Lion King's roar was too powerful and Kai Luo's umbrella couldn't withstand its force. Her umbrella was destroyed, but her benevolent energy remained. Kai Luo realizes that the Lion King is too powerful and cannot defeat him head-on, so she decides to attack his subordinates. She uses the Devouring Earth ability like a tiger, and her umbrella generates energy hurricanes, hitting the Lion King's subordinates. Slowly, she starts absorbing them, and when the umbrella is directed at the Lion King, Xia King steps in front and takes the impact. Seeing Xia King injured, Xingji tries to stop the umbrella with his Thousand Jin Fall ability. At this moment, the Lion King's past is shown when he was just a cub. It was the first time they had managed to drive away the clan of hyenas. Xingji asks him why he always threw himself into every fight. The little Lion King replies that he was destined to protect his subordinates. Upon hearing this, Xingji only thought about advancing alongside him. Back in the present, the Lion King is furious because Kai Luo had taken away his family. He starts unleashing all his power, causing space to distort and immobilizing Kai Luo. The Lion King attacks the umbrella with a strong bite. The bones of the umbrella were made from an ancient divine tree, and no one could destroy it. Seeing that her umbrella is about to be destroyed, Kai Luo tells the Lion King that if he damages the umbrella, he will never see his companions again. Upon hearing this, he stops attacking. She could control all creatures of the heavens and earth with her Hongjin Kaienkan umbrella. The furious Lion King demands her to release his companions. She replies that if he wanted to see them again, he needed to lick her feet. This is the end of the video because there are only 11 chapters. If you want to see the part 2, don't forget to subscribe and comment part 2. My name is Daily Manhwas and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.